been called to follow Christ. We are to preach, we are to teach, we are to fight. So when you lead me, I will go. Touch my lips, by your strength I will go. I will go where you lead me, I will go where you lead me. Who will go for us? I will go. I will go where you lead me, I will go where you lead me. Here am I, send me Lord, I will go. I will go where you lead me, I will go where you lead me. Who will go for us? I will go. I will go where you lead me, I will go where you lead me. Here am I, send me Lord, I will go. 'Cause mine eyes have seen the King. I must tell all the world worship Him. In all the nations, in all the world, where He sends me, yes, I will go. I will go where You lead me, I will go where You lead me. You will go for us, I will go. I will go where You lead me, I will go where You lead me. Here am I, send me Lord, I will go. I will go where You lead me, I will go where You lead me. Who will go for us? I will go. I will go where You lead me, I will go where You lead me. Here am I, send me Lord, I will go. I will go. I will go. I will go.
Good day, everyone. This is Master Guide Mithel Saladaga. I am a teacher here in Central Philippine Adventist College Elementary School. Just like you, I was once an aspirant, and I undergone all the activities camping, and I also secured all the necessary signatories just for me to be invested. And as part of your training under this club, we are going to talk today the basic staff training, specifically the Pathfinder history, philosophy, and purpose. Let me share you my slide. Okay, here we go. As you can see in the slide, these are some of the activities that we had last year during our Pathfinder camp. We have also the tactical inspection during that time. So I would like to give you a piece of advice. While you are under training, make use of the time. Make sure to learn all the necessary skills, for it will really help you when you are in your own working field. So today, before we go deeper in our topic, let me give you, or let us all together understand what are the things that we need to accomplish at the end of this lecture. Our objective is to develop an awareness of the purpose and uniqueness of Pathfinder ministry and to review the history of Pathfindering. So today we are going to talk about history, and learning history is exciting, but at the same time, many of you find it boring. Why boring? Because we are going to deal with name of persons, special events that took place in that specific dates or year. But bear with me, it is also very exciting because when you are joining a certain club or a certain group, what you need to do first is to know that organization by reading its background, by understanding its goals, by understanding its purpose, why that club and what that club stands for. So since you are under training in this club, you need to know how it started, when it started. Okay? So let's go. So the history of the Pathfinder, I categorize it into three parts: the early years, the formative years, and the Pathfinder years. And by the way, all the information that I will be presenting in my slides, I got it from AdventistReview.org, class IPAD, History, Philosophy, and Purpose of Pathfindering, and General Conference, Youth Ministry Department. I got all the information in those references that I mentioned to you. Now let's start with history of Pathfinder. If you are going to review those references that I mentioned a while ago, it stated there that no one person or club can be credited with the start of Pathfinder program. It was a cumulative, synergistic, and simultaneous creation. In other words, no specific or no organization can be credited as one. When you say cumulative, synergistic, it is a product of many organizations, many brain, many people to make something out of the group. Indeed, one person only. Okay? So, early years. Let's start with early years. But remember, even though no specific person, there are several standout or several people who stand out as vital of the development of the many components that combine to become the Pathfinder Club that we have today. Let's start during 1852. 1852, it was James White who was the first editor of the Youth Instructor. By 1879, Luther Warren and Harry Fenner, teenagers at that time, began the first Young People Society. By 1890, the church began the first publication of The Little Friend. Between 1900s and 1907, several churches and schools successfully experimented with junior societies. By 1907, in Mount Vernon, Ohio, official church action was taken. That action was a standard of attainment manual was developed, which was the forerunner of the progressive classes that we have today. 1911, several boys clubs such as the Tacoma Indians and the Woodland Clan started to form in Maryland. By 1919, the Mission Scouts, directed by Arthur Spalding, formed in Tennessee and adopted a pledge and law which became the basis of our present pledge and law. It was Arthur Spalding. So those are the things that happened during the early years of Pathfinder history. If we are going to look at it, at the very early years, even the time of James White, they have this group of young people who already do outreach, already take part or in church services and lead out in activities outside of the church. Now let's go to the formative years. So the formative years, 1920, Harry Holt joined the General Conference as a junior youth specialist. During the next 2 years, the Junior Missionary Volunteer Society, or the JMV, and the JMB progressive classes were formed. This included the friend, the companion, and the comrade, which we have now as a guide. Next, by 1926, the first camp was held in Town Line, Michigan. In 1928, the first 16 Adventist Youth Honors made their debut, and it was introduced by C. Lester Bond. In 1928, they only have 16. Mo pa'y pag-introduce sa 16 honors, which was introduced by C. Lester Bond. And at the same year, Illinois and other conferences joined the idea, which spread across the country eventually. And 1930, the adventurer classes, the BCB through Helping Hands, were also added. Going back to the honors, we started with only 16 honors. And now we have almost 500 honors. Some of these honors already have advanced level. Each of these honors represent learning a new area of interest for the Pathfinders, which could be a hobby, a skills, or a craft, or simply understanding the knowledge in the subject. Let's detour a little and let's go to the Pathfinder honors, or the category of Pathfinder honors. We have the types of Pathfinder honor. As I mentioned earlier, we have more than 500 honors as of the moment, as I check on the GC of the Youth Ministry Department. And it includes vocational, which is the color red. If you are going, for my fellow invested master guide, if you are going to look at your sash, where you put all the honors that you acquire from the training, all of those red patches or red honors that you have there, that is under vocational. We have 40 of these honors. I already choose 5 samples in each category. Vocational, that is color red, we have 40 of those. Outdoor industries, that's color brown. Try to check on your sash. We have 15 of that. It includes flower culture, gardening, poultry raising, fruit growing, and agriculture, and many more. As I mentioned earlier, I only put 5 samples in each category. Next is we have the missionary endeavors. We have 40 of this one. It includes Christian drama, sanctuary, Christian storytelling, and many more. We have also the recreational pursuit. It's color green. We have 93 of these honors. Yes, I put here example, the backpacking, camping skills, marching, and drilling. Another thing is we have arts and craft. The color of this one is light blue. We have 95 of these honors. It includes flower arrangement, music, origami, and many more. We also have nature. The color of this one is white. We have 95 of this kind of honor. It includes amphibians, trees, dog care, training, and many more. We have also the household arts. It's somewhat like color orange. We have 19 of this kind. It includes cooking, housekeeping, baking, and many more. Another is we have the healthcare and science. It's color like purple blue. We have 18 of this kind. It includes basic rescue, first aid, home nursing, and many more. We have also the ADRA. It's color royal blue. We have 9 of that. It includes hunger relief, refugee settlement, community service, and more. And we have, last but not the least, the Master Award. We have 16 of this Master Award. It includes the Farming Aquatic Master, Farming Master, Witnessing Master, and so on. So those are the different categories of the honors that we can acquire today. But remember, it started only with 16 honors, and now we have more than 500 of it. Okay? So, as I mentioned ago, at the year of 1930, the adventure classes, the BCB, through the helping hands were added. This is the logo of the BCB, and this is the logo of the helping hand. So we are going also to recognize the early leaders of this club, or the youth group that become the forerunners of the Pathfinder Club that we have today. We have here the early leaders of the Pathfinder camps include A.W. Spaulding, G.H. Smith, G. Fatty, R. Mackenzie, W. Holbrook, and A.W. Dunbar. Now let's go to the formative years of adventurer. Let's go to its formative, let's go to the Pathfinder years. So we are done with the early years, formative years, and now the Pathfinder years. The name of Pathfinder, according to the article that I've read, that according to the Pathfinder story, in 1928, Spaulding told the story to a Western explorer, John Fremont, whose nickname was Pathfinder, to a small group of youth campers from Southern California, led by John McKim. The nickname caught on, and soon the group carried the name to become a Pathfinder Club. That's why we have a Pathfinder Club today. It's only started when Spaulding told a certain story about John Fremont, which happened that John Fremont has the nickname of Pathfinder. Later on, they carry on that nickname and they name that as the name of the club that we have today, which is the Pathfinder Club. The Pathfinder years, 1946. The first conference-sponsored club bearing the name was organized at Riverside, California. It was 1946 when the Pathfinder Club, sponsored by the General Conference, was organized. And the club director was Francis Hunt. And the conference youth director was John Hancock, who designed the Pathfinder emblem. That's why if you are going to search who was the first Pathfinder director, they recognize Francis Hunt as the first club director of the Pathfinder, because it's during in this time that the Pathfinder Club, it was during this time that the conference sponsored the Pathfinder Club, and the youth director during this time is John Hancock, who happened to be also the one who designed the Pathfinder emblem. In 1949, the General Conference accepted the Pathfinder Club concept and organization. 1946, they already sponsored it, but later in 1949, during this time, only the Pathfinder organization was accepted as in the General Conference as one of the organization. In 1952, Henry Berg, who wrote the Pathfinder song, also designed the Pathfinder flag. It's Henry Berg, who wrote the Pathfinder song, also designed the Pathfinder Club. And I will give you a short story about how did Henry Berg wrote the Pathfinder song. According to Adventist Review.org, Berg was asked by John Hancock to write a song for the Pathfinder Club. And according to GC Youth Ministry, Henry was no musician. He was not a musician. But while on his way to preach a nearby church one Sabbath, he found himself thinking a sequence of words in a somewhat poetic form. He stopped by the road, took out a scrap of paper from the back of his Bible, and wrote out the words that came to him. On his way home from the same service, he found himself also whistling an unknown tune. When he matched the tune to the words defeat, he asked Wayne Hooper, a well-known Adventist musician and composer, to review it and make correction or modification with a comment. But then what happened is that Hooper sent it back to Berg with a comment, none were needed, meaning no changes were needed. Truly a gift from God. The song we sung today in many languages around the globe is truly a gift from God, considering that Henry Berg is no musician. See, that's how God lead this organization from the very beginning after the making of the songs and all the necessary things needed to be formed just to make this club official. By 1954, the first Pathfinder conference was held in southeastern California. So that was the end of the Pathfinder synergistic beginning, okay? From the very beginning, started from James White and until the end, where it eventually become a more organized club that we have today. Now let's go to its philosophy, the Pathfinder philosophy. So the Pathfinder philosophy, the training and saving of our children and youth is one of the most important mission of Seventh-day Adventist Church. Scientists tell us that children's brain patterns are formed by the time they reach 12 years of age. This means that during their early years, formative years, it is crucial that they will be taught with good habits. Try to think of it. At as early as 12, this time, the brain of our young people, of our children, began to form. That's why during their early years, like in elementary, whatever they learn during the time could be the basis of how they grow, or it's very important. That's why the church wants that as early as these young people will learn about God, will learn different skills, they will do it as early as that elementary years. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up in Hebrew to create a special desire. A child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. It is a Bible promise. It's not a simple one. The Lord promised, give us a promise that we need to train a child the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. Meaning, if you are going to train a little child as early as elementary years, they will fall in love with the training, and eventually they will grow out with that learning. Because too often we decided to have a child wait till he is older before they are allowed to participate in various levels of outreach, resulting in them to become an adult bench warmer in church later on, because we sometimes afraid to risk them in joining the activities because we have many what ifs. That's why as leaders also in pathfindering, we need to assure the parents that they are safe, that we also design program which is also balanced or in their age. The highest of all sciences is the science of soul saving. The greatest work to which human being can aspire is the work of winning men from sin to holiness. For the accomplishment of this work is a broad foundation must be laid. A comprehensive education is needed. That's according to Ministry of Healing 398. Now, let's go to the third part, which is the Pathfinder purpose. One of the Pathfinder Club's basic purpose is to fulfill the message of Malachi, in which the hearts of the parents are turned towards their children, and the hearts of the children are turned towards their parents. If you are going to observe when you are holding a camping, especially in elementary or in even in secondary, when there is a camping activities are ongoing, you are going to notice that many parents are also there watching how their children perform. In that way, we are making a good way in order for that parent-child relationship will be strengthened. We are bringing parents because though we're not, because they want to see how their child perform, and at the same time children are making fun, are enjoying the activities while learning, and they are confident because they know that their parents are there watching them, and that is one of the purpose of pathfindering. The Pathfinder Club provides a key step in educational program of the church, for it provides the opportunity to take children out of the classroom setting and into outdoor adventure and to accomplish the goals that follows. Of course, pathfindering is not about inside a certain room. When you say pathfindering, it gives you activities which is outdoor activities. Maybe sometimes we have lectures which we need to do it inside a room, but most of the time all of the activities are done outside, which is good for our young people since they are already inside the room for how many days when they are at school, right? So these are the goals. Number one, help Pathfinder to understand that the church loves, cares for, and appreciates them and needs them in its total program. That's one of the goals. That the youth will feel that they are valued, that they are important, that they can take part in the services at church. Because sometimes during these years, that the young people feel that they are not needed. We have this emotional challenges inside, and it's good if they are in a master guide club or in a pathfinder club wherein they do many activities, take part in churches. Letter B, show pathfinders what God has planned for their lives, because you have series of lectures, series of activities wherein they feel that God has a plan for each one of them, that God created them for a purpose. Letter C, train pathfinders for missionary services. Under the Pathfinder Club, the young people will do different outreach, different type of missionary services. And when you are in a missionary service, it feels good. And as early as like elementary, secondary, it's very important that they can feel the spirit of giving, the spirit of sharing, and the spirit of helping. Letter D, work for the salvation of each individual pathfinder. You will find friends inside the club. You will better understand the doctrine that we have. And it's very important because if they understand it fully, they have or they can share it fully also. Letter E, develop the Pathfinder's appreciation for nature and a concern for the environment. Because under the club, you are going to took up many honors or many lectures that talk about how you value the environment. You have many nature walk. You have honors about plants, gardening, leaves, and many more that can help each of the child appreciate even a single leaf that they can see along the way. Next, letter F. Teach Pathfinders specific skills and hobbies that will make their life meaningful and will occupy their time profitably. It's specific skills. I would say it's very practical skills. Many of our young people today are academic smart, but not street smart. And in Pathfindering, you will be taught how to survive. Even when you are inside the jungle, how you are going to survive. And it's very important that children will have that instinct, will have that in their selves, that even they are there, they can find ways how to survive. Letter G, help keep Pathfinder physically fit. You will have your morning wake up call just to do exercise, jogging, and any or many other physical activities that will help develop to have a stronger, healthier body. Letter H, give opportunities for the development of leadership. It is designed to train youth to become leaders someday. Not all have the opportunities to become a leader, but in Pathfindering, you will be trained to become a leader. Yes, not all will become a general conference youth director, but you are a leader in your own special way. Wherever the Lord will send you to work, you become a leader there and make use of this training to hone your leadership skills. Letter I, develop a balanced physical, mental, social, and spiritual life. Here it comes. It's very important. Pathfindering is very important because it develops every youth to become a well-rounded individual. What do you mean by well-rounded individual? They are balanced. They are developed physically, spiritually, and socially, and mentally. So we have also here the advantage in having a Pathfinder club in our church, in our schools, and even in our in the town that we are in. It makes the church visible to the community that the church cares for the youth. If you are going to see some of the Pathfinder youth who are wearing neckerchief, who are marching, it makes the community, oh, who are they? And that simple way, the church was being introduced to the community. Next, youth find the church interesting and fun to be in. Pastors and church leaders are viewed positively, seen as balanced people who are not too heavenly minded to be of earthly use. Next, energies of youth are harnessed and directed towards worthy causes, and activities allow for a lot of interaction, which facilitates bonding, intimacy, preparing the ground for evangelism. Those are the advantages of having a Pathfinder. That is only few of them. There are many of them, but I only choose only few for them. We have the goals here: to lead youth to Christ and to hold them loyal to Him and the church, to demonstrate the attractiveness of Christian ideals, to guide our boys and girls into active missionary service and community service, to develop good character and citizenship as well as physical fitness, to teach a variety of practical skills and recreational pursuits, to guide them in their physical, mental, social, and spiritual growth. No matter, my dear aspirants, my dear Pathfinders, my dear Master Guides, no matter how hard one tries. The story gets abbreviated, lost in time, less precise. And while it is easy to reduce the story to a few names and dates, we should not forget that many people who love God put their lives' effort into the Pathfinder. They were the ropes and the pulleys that have held this organization together. Charting the Pathfinder Club is no easy task, but one thing is certain. God was leading the church when it developed this organization for children and youth ages 10 to 16. Just as the church started or began as a small movement, just as the Adventist Review started as a little paper, Pathfinder Club started small with groups, ideas, ideals, and dedicated people that join together and explode around the world. And we are fortunate enough that we are part of this club. May the Lord will bless you and enjoy while having or undergoing the Master Guide or Pathfinder training. God bless everyone.